Hey guys, it's Chris sitting here back from C&H Small Engine again for another informative review video. This one deals with one of my customers' machines. So this is a Scott's rear self-propelled lawnmower right here for that. And we don't see too many of these Scott's machines though, because as far as I know, they were basically made in a limited quantity out there for that. And this one has the more rare Tecumseh overhead valve engine on the front, as you see right there. These ones were only put on the we won't call like high-end premium equipment out there for that, and they actually have the older markings on it, like a 6.5 horsepower, as opposed to the newer ones where they simply go by the actual torque rating and not the horsepower. Because a few years back, I guess somebody called out Briggs & Stratton or Tecumseh about the horsepower ratings, and they had to revise the specifics about that, so they just put torque on the new machines now rather than the horsepower. Because if you're in a different location in the country, like say you're up in Denver and say you live on a Gulf Coast, like sea level, you will definitely have a difference of horsepower because of the two differences of elevation for that. And if you take the same engine and you basically check the horsepower at two different locations based on the different height from like sea level up to maybe a mile high, you will definitely lose horsepower from going from sea level up to a higher elevation for that. And some people don't understand that, so I think that might have been a main contributing factor of why they changed the horsepower rating over to torque. So without further ado, let me give you another side picture of here as well too. It's a turf track vac cutting system on this specific one right here. That's what they call it on here. And it also has one control level specifically for all four wheels on her for that. It's sort of like a precursor, because as far as I know, this machine, the guy told me he bought it about 16 years ago, so this is like around 2000 model year as well. Get another picture of the front on here as well too. Clearly shows it's a 3-in-1 mulch bag, side discharge, 3-speed rear wheel transmission on her as well too. You can get a picture of the front end engine as well. There you go. There's the overhead valve for the actual valve cover itself right there. And they even call this Magna Torque 6.5 horsepower overhead valve. They claim it's 20% easier starting on her as well too for that. You get the other side here as well too. There's your carburetor. There's your muffler on her. These things seem to be a little bit quieter than the typical Tecumseh out there for that. So I'll fire it up here as well too, so you can see that thing start at least as well. But this guy was originally brought this thing over here because it was sitting in his storage shed or storage facility for probably about a couple of years, and he brought it over here, and he basically had old gas in there. The gas thing had to be cleaned out. The fuel line was all rotted off. The actual fuel bowl is basically black in there for that, so we had to do a complete R&R and the whole fuel system on there and clean it all out and put a new fuel line, new carb bowl. We also had to put a new main jet in there, but the old main jet was basically full of rust down inside there. And even though we put in a carb soak and vibra tank, it simply would not get rid of all the rust down inside it, because it looked like they had water down the tank. And as most people know, water goes to the bottom of your fuel system right there for that, and basically lays in there, I should say. So that's what we had to do to get the thing running right here as well too. Plus we also had to change the oil out about 3 times, because the oil is basically black as coal in there. And you should at least change your oil at least once a season on any machine out there, whether you have a lawnmower or tractor or anything else out there for that. And I'll give you a back picture of the model number here as well too. There we go. It's a model number Scott's 21997. X is an X-ray, 8A is an apple, and made in the United States of America by Scott's. This is 2010 American Drive, Jackson, Tennessee. You even have a Scott's customer care number on it as well too. So at least it was made in America. So most of these, some of these newer machines out there, they're made in China out there, most of that stuff. So let me give you a picture of the tag over here as well for the engine. And there's your engine tag right there. It claims it meets California 2006 emissions, even though this guy, quote, claims he bought like 15 years ago. I beg to differ with that because of the date code on here for that is right there. So that basically proves it was made probably by 2005, somewhere around 06 right there for that. So it's the OVRM 120, and there's the date code, manufacturer, displacement, all that stuff like that. And up in the handle, we got two handles up here. You have the main primary handle, and you have the secondary transmission. This handle right here, pull that back once you start it up, and you let it go. It doesn't spring back too good on here because the spring's kind of weak on here for that. And you also have a 3-speed selector. The 3-speed selector, I was actually looking online, and these things should only be used while the handle is basically forward right here. You want to select it. You don't want to select it on the fly. You just want to select it while the thing's not moving at all, because it'll grind the gears down inside the transmission. You do not want that to happen. So let me fire this thing up here for you guys. All the way over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's one thing I should mention on the side over here with the carburetor. They got on the primer thing, it says on here, cold start primer 3 times. 3 times more than likely will not start these things. I recommend hitting them about 5 to 8 times depending on the actual weather outside. Right now it's about 60 degrees out here right now, so I recommend hitting it probably about 5 to 8 times, because 3 times is probably only good if it's about 80 degrees outside right there for that, guys. So it's not really worth doing that unless it's really warm outside. So hit it about 8 times when it's cold. Okay, let's fire this sucker up here, guys. Let me hold this thing one-handed here. Put the speed all the way back up to 1. And there we go. Fired up on 1 pull there. Okay, let me put it in first gear. Third gear now. Yeah, third gear really hauls ass on these things. Third gear is perfect for like doing big flat proppers and stuff like that out there. So if you're only one-handed and you're trying to film it as I did right there, you might get away from your for that. So third gear is just basically for big flat open surfaces, not meant for any hills, stuff like that. So that's basically my review for these rarely seen Scott's machine. This is probably about the 3rd one we've seen over here in about 8 years. So it's more of an uncommon type, if we can say it right that for that. So if anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot, just email me something right here or leave me a message at the bottom of the page. I'll see you guys. Have a nice day.